Thank you so much, Sheena. Guys, my name is George Palaio. I'm a board counsel with PHP Agency. I'm going to pick up where Matt and Sheena left off. Talking about the industry, right? When I first got into the industry, I was 18, 19 years old. I was serving tables. I was going to college. I was selling real estate. A friend of mine that was my neighbor was making $30,000 a month. I was making $30,000 a year. And I realized that in 1 year of him working, he made the same that I made in 12 years. In 3 years of him working, he would make the same that I would make in 36 years at the restaurant. So when I got introduced to the industry, I wasn't looking for the traditional industry. We're going to talk about that here in a moment. I wasn't looking for a corporate environment. I wasn't looking for a 9-to-5 job. I wasn't looking for a boring environment. I wanted something where I enjoyed going to work. When you look at some of the major companies that people go and apply for and they want to work at, they're not working there because of the pay. They're typically working there because of the culture and the opportunity to grow within the organization. So let me kind of share. The average age in the industry today is 50, 60 years old. Okay, it's been a long time since the industry started really recruiting and bringing in new talent. Our average age is 35. Now, when I got started, I was 18. So today, I'm average now, okay? I'm 35 years old, but I got started at 18. To go from making $2,000 a month to a 7-figure income, it gave me, a young guy, a chance to change my life. And there's so many people here that went to college, got the degree, they're at a corporation, they're trying to move up, they're limited as how much they can grow, they're limited on how much income they can make, and this is the season of their life as well, where they really want to take off. These are the best years of their career building-wise. So we have people that are 18 to people that are 80 years old that are licensed in our organization. It's not an age thing with us. Secondly, Caucasian, white, 76% of our agents are multicultural. Hispanic, African American are two of the smallest segments in the insurance industry. They're two of the largest segments in PHP Agency. Boring, low energy. You go to a convention and you're sitting there, you're looking at everybody. They just can't wait for the meeting to finish to go to the bar, to go drink, to go party. And they're not excited about what they're learning. You go to a PHP event, you know what you see? You see Nicky Jam on stage. You see Sebastian Maniscalco working the crowd. You see Kevin Hart performing. Kobe Bryant, George Bush. You see different people coming to our events and giving messages on how to improve, how to be better as people. Then you have old school marketing, right? Innovative marketing strategies. When you look at major insurance companies, you don't see them on social media. You don't see them on Instagram. You don't see them on Snapchat. You don't see them on TikTok. You don't see them on Facebook. You don't really see that. It's more of the traditional, hey, here we are, we're $1 billion company, but they're so disconnected from the audience. If I'm on Instagram, right, I'm not going to be going maybe to Wall Street Journal, and nothing against Wall Street Journal. There's a lot of value in that. Maybe I'm not going to be reading the newspaper. Maybe I'm not going to be reading the Financial Times, right? But I still need to learn about money. I still need to be connected with what's going on in the economy today. And so the fact that we reach people where they are, that we're innovative in the way that we connect to people. We go to people. We don't wait for people to come to us. Very big difference here. Quotas, no quotas. I never wanted to be told what to do in terms of if you don't do this, you're fired. Do you know how many people wake up every day in America and they're worried that if they get to work a minute late, right, they're going to be fired. That if they don't do what they need to do that week, they're going to be fired. That if they don't meet that quota at the end of the month, they're going to be fired. The amount of pressure today that people have at a job, right, it's to some degree, it's very also unhealthy. And then they take that stress, they go home. At the end of the night, you get to your house and you're stressed out already. It's anxiety all day long. And then that turns into an argument. So people are living in very stressful environments at work versus as an entrepreneur, yes, there's pressure to perform. There's pressure to do better. There's pressure to increase our income and hit numbers and get bonuses. But it's not that something will be taken away from you if you don't do it. It's, hey, here's what you're going to get. But if you do this, this is how much more can be added to you. We'll kind of talk about that as we go through this. But last year we received over close to a couple $100,000 in bonuses. And we weren't expecting that in the form of a dividend. We weren't expecting some of the things that PHP does for us. So here, in terms of vesting, that means that you're the company. When you leave, what happens to your income? It goes away. Where here, what if you were able to build a book of business? What if you were able to build and go help some families and build some clientele? And every single year, those policies pay residual. Those policies pay renewals. What if you could do something one time and get paid over and over and over on it? Everybody wants to have an income that's coming in without having to go in to get the income. What if you decide to say, you know what, George? I'm going to go somewhere else. Love you guys. It just isn't for me. We're not going to stop that income from coming in. Why? because you brought that client. So you're vested day one in the company, where even if you were to leave and go to another company, we're still going to pay you on all that business, all that residual income, because that's what's right. In terms of building the company brand, when you see mutual companies, right? I'm not going to say names, but you see certain mutual companies, you see big insurance and investment companies, all you see is the company. They're not figuring out, hey, how do we turn our top producer into a brand, into an example in the industry? Why? Because they want to lift up the company. There's nothing wrong with that. Hey, you're building up the company. But what about the person that's in the field every night with families? What about the person that's doing all the work? What about that person, right? And so here we're very focused on helping our guys co-brand, to build PHP agency, but to build their brand. Some companies, from a compliance standpoint, won't even allow people to do that. And they'll say, hey, that's you're building your own company. You can't go outshine the company. With us, we want you to shine. We want to build you up. When you look at Serve to Earn with Chris Hart, right? Former Apple employee, today $500,000 earner with the company, chairman council, right? You look at a leader like Matt and Sheena Sapala, former Marine, medical sales, right? And today making a seven-figure income, high seven-figure income. When you look at a person like Rodolfo and Ceci Vargas, Latino hustle, and this guy came from El Salvador, him and his wife came from El Salvador. There's a lot of people that are coming from other countries, couldn't carry their education over. The great part about PHP is PHP wants to build you as a brand, build you as a company as well. And then lastly, get promoted through politics versus here, get promoted because you earn it. I remember going to work every day, and I'm working my tail off, and I'm trying to be as perfect as I can. I'm trying to get there early. I'm trying to make sure the customer service is great. I'm making sure I'm pleasing my manager. I'm pleasing my boss. I'm doing everything I can above and beyond. And I see the people that are getting promoted, that are getting better shifts, that are getting a raise, that were people that just that person liked more. I never wanted to be in a position where somebody dictated what I earn next year. That's up to me. I should be able to control that. And so here you get promoted through performance. Simple, black and white, you hit the goal, you get promoted. There's no politics, right? There's none of that stuff. It's go work, you move up, we're going to promote you. So guys, in terms of going through the industry, that's some of the differences between the industry and PHP. And then lastly, in terms of platform, I came from cutting grass. I came from working in a supermarket. I came from selling real estate, never sold a house, but became a realtor. I came from working and serving food. I didn't have a background in insurance. I didn't have a background when it came to retirement planning, finances, annuities. I didn't have a background in sales. I wasn't the most business-oriented person just because I had never ran a business before. I didn't want to say it on the outside, but you know how we have these doubts, we have these fears, we have these worries on, can I really do this? Can I do this? Is this really for me? I'm not really the money person, or, you know, people know I'm not in the best financial situation. And I didn't think that an 18, 19-year-old college dropout could one day run a business. Today, currently, we're doing close to $30 million a year. I didn't think I can do that. And so if you're the person watching this video today, and whatever you don't think that you can do, it's very simple. You just haven't taken the time to learn it yet. Somebody hasn't shown you what to do. Maybe you don't have a mentor or coach, but you have the ability to learn. And so what I love about PHP is the amount of direction that our platform gives us. In terms of blueprint, that's a manual that literally takes you from A to Z how to build a business. In terms of our product manual, that can take somebody that knows nothing about money and teach them everything they need to know about what we do. And then all of that is packaged inside of software, right? Today, we are leading in the insurance industry. We are leading when it comes to software and being a tech-enabled company. See, I wasn't a CEO. I didn't know how to look at a business and analyze a business. I don't have a business degree. And even the people that I've brought into our business that have a business degree, they're learning how to manage somebody else's business, not necessarily how to build their own business. So for me, we have a software called Bamboo. It's changed our company. Close to every single day, there's close to 30,000 updates. I didn't say 30,000 updates. And you say 30,000 updates on what? On what's going on in the company. Who's leading? Update. Hey, this policy is going here. Hey, this is what's happening with your license. Hey, by the way, one of your agents submitted a policy. Hey, where do I go to quote? And like, if I want to give a client a quote and say, hey, here's how much $500,000 is. Here's how much $1 million is. I can literally log in, put in a few boxes, 5, 6, 7 boxes, and it'll populate all the quotes. And then if I want to submit that, I just hit submit, and we can send that to the company electronically. And all of that can be in one place. This has changed the speed of the company. People are growing. People are opening up territories and new offices at a speed that I've never seen that in my career. And I've been in the business for a while. Never seen that. A brand new person getting started, getting the blueprint, getting bamboo, and literally opening an office in 90 days. Maybe you're looking for a system, looking for direction, looking for mentorship on what do I do and how do I do it? Because there is a lot of people that want to be entrepreneurs. There's a lot of people that want to make a better income, but they just don't know how to do it, right? And so lastly, guys, as I go through this, we're at a time right now where the market's been the highest that it's ever been. In the history of the stock market, it's never been higher. And there are so many people that have invested and they've gotten great returns, but anything that goes up, 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 has to at one point go down. And I'll always ask people, hey, did you lock your car? Yeah, why? So that people don't steal the things inside your car because it's valuable, right? You lock your home, yes, right? Why? Because you don't want people stealing your things. You don't want to lose what you have, right? But the majority of people today are exposed in a way they don't even know that all of their money, all of their retirement funds, the large majority of it is in an account where at any moment they could lose it. See, imagine working for 40 years and at the end of your life, after you've done everything right, you just don't understand timing. You just don't understand that everything that you have is at risk and that you really aren't in control of what's going to happen to that if the stock market goes down. And so that's why people need to be educated more now than ever on how to protect what they have. And so we're at a time right now where the baby boomers, you have these close to 80 million people, right? 76 million people are approaching retirement at the peak of the market being the highest it's ever been with extreme exposure. And that's why there's such a great opportunity right now to be able to sit down with people and help people move their money, help people move their 401k, their IRA, their Roth IRA into an index annuity where it's protected. And so as we transition, guys, I want to talk about how we get paid. Let's say you say, George, you know what? What Matt said, what Sheena said made a lot of sense. I want to make a better income. I want to maybe buy a home. I want to move. I want to put my kids in a better school. I want to upgrade my life. It's been a long time since we take a vacation, or when we do take a vacation, it's financed through debt, or it's a vacation, but it's not our dream vacation. I want to help my mom and dad. They're getting a little bit older, and I see them just, their body isn't the same anymore. They're tired. I wish I can help them. I don't want my husband or my wife to have to go to work. I would like for one person to be able to stay home and be with the kids. I want to be able to have more time with my kids at this season in their life. Man, you know what? We really want to move out of this neighborhood. It's just not safe. I told my wife I was going to buy a dream house and that I was going to give her this life and we were going to travel the world. And maybe you haven't been able to keep your promise. Maybe you haven't been able to accomplish those dreams that you have. And I'm talking about the dreams that when you're a little kid and you imagine what your life's going to look like, right? Your dreams are up here and then you get your first job and your income's down here. And so what ends up happening, instead of figuring out how do I raise my income to match my dreams, we typically lower our dreams to match our income, right? And we stop dreaming. And that's an issue, right? One of the greatest problems with mankind today is that we don't dream anymore. And so what if there was a way you say, I don't have to quit my job and start a business and I know nothing about it completely by myself, but what if there was a way you can learn an industry with a mentor, with a system on a part-time basis, and you could just test it. You can get involved, get your license or whatever state you're in, and you could say, hey, what if I do this part-time? Well, let's say you help 2 families part-time per month and each one of them saving $250 per month for insurance, savings, retirement. We get advanced 1 year up front. So that means whatever company is the best for that client, they pay us for bringing them a client. We don't mark up the product. We don't add any fees. We don't charge the person anything for what we do. We're going to find the best thing that's there for them. So they pay us up front $3,000. Why? $250 times 12, $3,000. So let's say you help 2 families per month. That's $6,000. As an associate, you're at a 40% contract. That would be $2,400 per month, $28,000 per year roughly. What if you did that just over the next 10 years, right? That's an extra $300,000, closer to $300,000 in income. Would that help you retire sooner? Maybe you say, you know what, George, if I can do this part-time and I can make an extra $2,400 a month, what if I help 1 extra client a week, right? And now you go from part-time to maybe a personal producer. You could still be part-time. I've had a lot of people in our business that have even made a 6-figure income. One of our fastest guys, right? Fastest to 6 figures on a part-time basis, did it in 11 months. And so here you say, I'm going to become a personal producer. And you do 4 clients per month, 1 client per week, $250 a month times 12, that's $3,000. So that's $12,000 total. At 60%, you'd make $7,200, $86,400 per year. Could you quit your job at $86,000? Could you say, hey, you know what? Instead of putting that time and putting these years into somebody else's business, what if we put it into ours? Maybe you start part-time and you're a husband and wife and you're doing this together. They say that one horse can pull 75% of its body weight. Two horses can pull 250% of their body weight. What if you guys do this together as a couple on a part-time basis and you start making an extra $4,000 or $5,000 a month, and then one person says, you know what, I think I can quit my job. You quit it and we'll build it. And then the other person says, hey, you know what, I'm making more now here than you are there. Why don't you? And then all of a sudden there's two of you guys building your own business. If you're going to give your energy, your time, your life, if you're going to miss out on certain things in life with your kids, if you're going to have to give up on some goals and some dreams, what if you can make some changes and say, let's go build something that's ours? And so you say, let me become a business owner with PHP. What does that look like? Well, let's say you have 10 agents. There are people out there that want a better income. So you're able to sit down, show them what we do, help them get their license, train them. They get started. That's one of your agents. Every time they go out there and they help a family, that insurance company is going to pay them, but they're also going to pay you. Why? Because you brought another agent that brought that client. Without you, that client wouldn't be there, the agent wouldn't be there. So what does that look like? If you have 10 agents and each one helps 2 to 3 people per week, so they're each doing 10 families per month, okay? Let's say that each family's putting away $25 a week, $100 a month. We get paid 1 year up front, again, so that's $1,200. So if each one of them, each application is $1,200, that's $12,000 per agent. Times 10, that's $120,000. You as a broker would get 25% of that, which is $30,000, $30,000 per month, $360 per year. When I first came and I saw this, in my mind, my identity wasn't a $360,000 identity. It was a $2,000, $3,000 identity. So I didn't believe that that was possible. I didn't believe I could make that income. I figured maybe other people do, but I don't know if I can do that. And I said, but even if I can't do that, what if I mess this thing up and I at least get to 100,000 a year? If they're telling me I can make 360, I could probably mess this up and get to 100,000. And that's exactly what happened. And we made $100,000, and then 200,000, and then 300,000, then 400,000, then 500, and then $1 million, right? Because I decided to go from part-time to personal producer to business owner to agency builder. Meaning that some of those agents, out of these 10 agents, you're going to find some people that they themselves also think big. They say, hey, I'd love to open my own office here because I've always wanted to live here. I'd love to have multiple offices. And you find a few people like you that want to do something big. So let's say that you have 12 marketing directors. That's what we consider a business owner with us. So you have 12. Each one of these teams is helping 20 clients. So you have 12 brokers. Each team's helping 20 clients. If each office is doing $60,000 per month in premium, 12 times 60 is $720. Yourself, as a broker, at a 27% override on that, you make $194 per month, $2.3 million per year. I remember when I went to this presentation, and Patrick, our CEO, who I'm going to speak about in a moment, he says, why don't you go to your boss tomorrow, and why don't you ask your boss, hey, boss, Mr. Boss, Mrs. Boss, how do I make $300,000, $400,000 a year? And he says, when you go to your boss, if your boss isn't making that, they're probably going to laugh and say, ha, if I don't make that, what makes you think you can make that? He says, the moment that you hear that, you know that you're in the wrong place. See, when I got into the industry and I'm around Patrick, every time I saw him, man, increase his income, $500,000, million, $1 $100 million, right? And you look at somebody that you've literally seen go to being worth hundreds of millions of dollars. It changes your perspective on what you think is possible. We were at his house recently in Fort Lauderdale, and we're sitting in the back of the house, and the boats are going by, and the jet skis are going by, and he says, Pelayo, one of the biggest issues is most people never get a chance to witness somebody else's transformation. So they don't fully know that that's possible for them. Sometimes you're one association, you're one relationship, you're one mentor, you're one opportunity away from everything changing in your life. And I met Patrick, and Patrick saw in me something that I couldn't see in me. I saw it in my heart, but I didn't think I could do it. I wanted it to believe that it was possible, but I didn't think I could. I hoped to win, but I expected to fail. And I had to change that because we don't come from that, right? And if you do, you know it's possible. But if you don't, guess what? At some point, if you don't come from a wealthy family has to come from you. And every time I progressed, every time I hit a new cash flow, he would push me and push me and push me and get me to think bigger. I remember the first time I made a 6-figure income in a month, Phone call was, hey, great job, but you should be making that per week because of your potential. This can't be about money anymore. If it is, you're going to stop right now. This has to be about your capacity. Like, who has those people in their corner? That's the power of our mentorship. To walk in today, we're filming this here at our headquarters that's currently in Dallas, Texas. And, you know, to get to a point where you start as a startup, you have nothing. You have nothing, don't have one employee. And today, to go to almost having 100 employees, being all over the United States, 49 states and Puerto Rico, and the stories of the people that have gotten involved here, guys. The story of a Matt and Sheena Sapala, right? From marine and medical sales, like we mentioned, to today, 7-figure income earners. The story of Rodolfo and Ceci Vargas, that come to this country with nothing, today, 7-figure income earners. The story of a Jose and Marlene Gaitan that come from bill collections and real estate and start off with nothing. And today, 7-figure income earners, and have an agency that also, all those agencies, $20–30 million a year. All these people that just different walks of life. Some have degrees, some don't. Some come from business, some don't. Some military, some not. Some college educated, some not. Everybody, we're very different. You'll see the pictures of all of our leaders. Everybody's got a different story, but we had one thing in common. We wanted to do something big. See, you're a couple moves away. Maybe your first move is just making some part-time income. Maybe your second is saying, hey, you know what? Let me do a little bit more. Let me see if I can replace my income. Oh my God, I replaced my income. Then your third is maybe I could teach a couple people. I don't really know how to do this, but I'm learning. I think I could at least teach somebody how to do what I do. And all of a sudden, you're getting promoted at a big event. You're walking on stage. You're getting promoted to broker. And then from there, you're able to say, hey, you know what? I know how to do it because I did it. Let me teach you how to do it. And you fast forward to today. I never thought that I would go from making $2,000 a month to $100,000 a month. I never thought that was possible. Guys, I don't have a 2-year degree. I don't have a 4-year degree. I didn't come from money. We grew up in Palmdale, California, small little town. My mom worked retail. Dad worked in a casino. They lost their businesses at one point, struggled, had to rebound. Great parents, raised 3 amazing kids, but we didn't have a lot of money growing up. But you know what my dad did? One day we go to Beverly Hills. And he takes us to an open house. It's a $6–7 million house. And I don't know if you've ever done this. If you haven't, go do it. Do it for yourself. Sell yourself the dream. Okay? You don't have to have the money to go walk into the open house. Sometimes, what are we going to look at it for? We don't have the money. Sell yourself the dream. Maybe you need to get inspired a little bit. And so we go to this house, $6–7 million house, waterfall pool or infinity pool. And we see a Ferrari and a Lambo. And guys, the only time I ever saw a Ferrari and a Lambo is when I went to Toys R Us. Okay, some of you guys have never been to Toys R Us. There used to be a thing called Toys R Us. It was kids' heaven. If you died, you went to heaven. It looked like Toys R Us as a kid. And I remember getting a little model car, and I would go home with my dad, and we would put it together and glue and all this stuff, and I would dust them in my room like, man, one day, and I'd have a Lamborghini poster. And I know some of you guys aren't motivated by money. That's okay. But at that moment in my life, I was just dreaming, whatever your dream is. Maybe that's giving, that's charity, maybe that's building a restaurant, fashion, maybe that's traveling the world, maybe that's retiring parents, maybe that's putting your kids in better school. Whatever motivates you, cutting a check to your church, whatever motivates you. I was a kid and I was driven and I said, oh my God, what if one day I have this? And my dad said to me, I said, Dad, can we buy this house? See, I have no idea that, $6 million home and your $50,000 a month mortgage. I'm just dreaming because when you're a kid, you don't put a price tag to your dreams. You do that as an adult. And I said, Dad, can we buy this? He says, I can't right now, but one day you will. See, what happened at that moment, he made a kid believe that those dreams were possible. What I love about PHP is the culture around our trips. We had around 450 people this year we took to Hawaii. We just came back from Cancun. We have a trip coming up to Tulum. We were in Greece together. We were in Dubai together. We were in the Caribbean together. Some of our guys, the company rented a yacht for them and sent them all over the Maldives. You see contests that the company puts together, and they're sending people to the Super Bowl this year, to NBA finals, NBA championships. PHP world class in the way that it treats its top performers, and that could be you. As we finish today, you have 3 choices, 3 options. What are you going to do after watching this? 1, people are going to do nothing. It's exciting, good stories, motivation. Guy made me laugh a little bit, or maybe not. But you know what? We do nothing with it. We just keep staying at our job. Number 2, you say, you know what? I got to educate myself. Let me go do what everybody else is doing right now. Let me go back to school to try to do that. When that's a tough situation right now with the number of people that can't find work, that have degrees that don't work in that field. So what's your last option? What's your third option? Start a business. Become an entrepreneur. Get involved with PHP agency. That's what I did. I was scared. I was nervous. I didn't know if this was for me, but I took action, right? I love this quote. It says, procrastination is the assassination of your destination. There are so many people that should be healthier, but they haven't taken action in that area of their life. There are so many people that should have more in savings, less in debt, more in investments, but they haven't taken action in that area of their life. There are so many people that want to own a business, but they haven't taken action in that area of life. And so what we normally do when we watch a YouTube video or a motivational speaker or an opportunity video, we look at it and we say, wow, that was exciting, good for them, and we feel good in that moment, but then we go back to our regular life. We go back to the apartment, we go back to the car we don't want to drive, we go back to the bank account that we don't want, we go back to the retirement account that's not there, we go back to the vacations that we can't take, all because we chose at one point to procrastinate, to push today's responsibilities into tomorrow, to take the action that we could have done today and say, well, let me leave it for tomorrow. I remember we would do these meetings in person, and the first time I heard Patrick do it, he said, many of you are going to say, hey, that's awesome. Let me think about it. And his response to those people were, how has let me think about it helped you in becoming financially independent? Has that worked for you? And I know for me at that moment in my life, I was broke, right? I wasn't where I wanted to be. I wasn't making the income I wanted to make. I didn't have the associations. I wasn't in an environment where I was personally growing. I wasn't being challenged. I wasn't having fun. I wasn't building something that was mine. And some of you guys are living a good life. They say the enemy of a great life is a good life. So maybe you're in a much better place than I was, right? But when I sit with people, even the guys that are making $200,000, $300,000 a year, I'm like, wow, you can make 10 times that. Anyways, guys, with that being said, I want to challenge you right now, right? Food tastes best when it's hot. I want to challenge you right now to call the person back that invited you to watch this and have them share, right? Either set up an appointment with them so you guys can get back together in person, on Zoom, wherever, depending on where you're located, or have them share the compensation video with you as well so you can learn about in detail how we get paid. But take action today. With that being said, God bless you guys. Thank you for watching. We look forward to working with you in the future.